The Uganda Constitutional Conference was held in London in September 1961. It was organized to pave way for Ugandan independence. At the end of the conference, on 9th October 1962, Uganda finally became an independent nation. In that night, the Union Jack was lowered while the Uganda national flag was raised, which was designed by Grace Imbingira. The Uganda national anthem was also sung for the first time, which was composed by George Wilberforce Kakoma. Elizabeth II remained head of state as Queen of Uganda until the link with the British monarchy was cut off on 9th October 1963. This made the Kabaka of Buganda, Sir Edward Mutesa II, become the first president of Uganda.
And at midnight, Sergeant Major Sidney Small of Birmingham lowers the Union Jack that has flown in Uganda for nearly 70 years. At the same moment, the 4th Battalion King's African Rifles becomes the 1st Battalion Uganda Rifles. And to replace the Union Jack, the black, gold and red flag of the new young state, Uganda is born again, free and independent.
Major Kanuti Akorimo is described as a hero for a historical performance of raising the Uganda national flag. At Kololo Airstrip, Dr. Apollo Milton Obote, leader of Uganda People's Congress, became the Prime Minister. During this beautiful ceremony, Apollo Milton Obote received the instruments of power from the Duke of Kent. At the independence speech, Obote called upon the national unity. Without being only an independent country, Uganda also became a member of Commonwealth.
The state opening of Parliament.
Milton Obote, the country's first head of government, swears an oath of allegiance to Her Majesty Queen Elizabeth II, since his country is now a full member of Commonwealth.
Of African peoples, Britain has come a long way with you and wishes you well. In the new Africa, one more independent country, the state of Uganda. At Entebbe Airport, Prime Minister Milton Obote and His Highness the Kabaka wait to greet the Britannia, which brings the Duke of Kent to represent the Queen at the independence celebration. And with the Duke, of course, his beautiful young Duchess. Lady Coots, wife of the Governor, greets the Duchess while the Duke shakes hands with the Kabaka. A formal occasion, but more than that, because Uganda is gaining its freedom without bitterness, at its own request, becoming an immediate member of the Commonwealth. So the traditional gestures have a real meaning of friendship. Government House at Entebbe, which for one more day is still the capital, is where the Duke and Duchess stay during their visit as guests of Governor Sir Walter Coots and his wife. After tomorrow, Kampala is the capital. This afternoon, the crowds are gathering at Entebbe Harbour for one of the big events of the day, a canoe regatta. Canoes from all along the coast and islands of Lake Victoria take part. Victoria, the 3rd largest lake in the world, and the other lakes and rivers that connect with it, are the lifeblood of Uganda and of the 28 tribes that make up its people. Biggest of the tribal areas is the Kingdom of Buganda, of which the Kabaka is the hereditary ruler. And these shores are in its territory. But in the crowd celebrating the independence that will be theirs at midnight tomorrow, you will find members of all the 28 tribes. For one of the first aims of the new state has been proclaimed as a commonwealth of interests, overriding old tribal divisions. At Twikobi, the Kabaka's palace, His Highness is to give a cocktail party. And more crowds are waiting and entertaining themselves while they wait to see the Duke and Duchess arrive. But first, the Guard of Honor. That salute, by the way, is a traditional sign of loyalty to the Kabaka by his followers. The Kabaka himself arrives, a ruler whose dynasty and kingdom were thriving long before the first European explorers came. The present Kabaka is His Highness Sir Edward William Frederick David Walungembe Mutebi Luangula Mutesa II, who now...
In Amin Dada's legacy in 1971, he ran leadership through ECOI. He is mostly known for sending over 65,000 Indians back to their country so that the Ugandans could explore in their resources.
Uganda. And I must make sure that every Ugandans get a fruit of independence. Since independent, actually Uganda is not yet independent, I will say.
Whether you are moving with how many flags, but if you are still economically slaves of the big powers and they are controlling you, you will never be completely independent.
History.
In June 1971, Amin Dada told the natives that the government would do anything to put the economy in their hands. Not so long, 5th August, Amin announced a period of 3 months for Indians to leave Uganda, and indeed they were expelled.
They have been milking the economy of the...
I have liberated my country economically, and I am economically strong, and that is why I said I uprooted the British imperialism from Uganda, and Uganda is now pure Africa. According to the African tradition, when we speak very strongly, very frankly, and a very hot debate like heads of state and the government have been speaking here, where they exchange hot words, and this is very good for Africa. It will unite us. We became very strong.
Presidents of Uganda since independence 1962 to date. First, we have Sir Edward Mutesa II, he ruled from 1962 to 1966. We have Apollo Milton Obote, he ruled from 1966 to 1971. We have Idi Amin Dada, he ruled from 1971 to 1979. We have Yusuf Kironde Lule, he ruled from 1979 to 20th June 1979. We have Godfrey Binaisa, he ruled from 1979 to 1980. We have Paul Mwanga, he ruled from 12th May 1980 to 22nd May 1980. We have Milton Obote II, he ruled from 1980 to 1985. We have Tito Okello Lutwa, he ruled from 1985 to 1986. And finally, we have His Excellency Yoweri Kaguta Museveni, he ruled from 1986 till date. After all the hard work by our leaders and all the citizens, Uganda is now a free and peaceful state to live in East Africa.
United, free for liberty, together we'll always stand. you.